Extraordinary Life family, how are you doing? Welcome to February. That's right, February. Whoosh, January is gone, done and dusted. We've come out of New Year, come out of Christmas. We are rocking and rolling. But no need to panic. No need to panic if you're not quite where you want to be or you haven't made the progress you want to be. It's okay. We still got the whole of the year, rest of your life ahead of you. So look, I'm coming in today this Tuesday lunchtime to check in to see how everything is. Welcome you to February. And look, and just kind of remind you of a few things and also just give you a flavour of what's to come this month. And give you something to think about. Yeah, that's right. So look, January was all about helping set you up for an extraordinary 2022. Now, obviously there was that training that I did. And if you haven't seen it yet, then please do go and check it out. I'll share the link so you don't have to scroll down and look at and find it in the posts. But go check it out. You know, everybody that was live on the replays and I shared it wider, everybody who's been exposed to it, it's really helped them get the clarity they need. And just as a recap, what we did was, this was about getting clear on what it is you want to improve on this year. I mean, it's not about heady goals and, traditional goal setting, but there are going to be things that you want to improve on, work on this year. It might be that it's wanting to take it to the next level or improve on something, or you just want something to be better than last year. And it could be in any area of life, your personal life, your relationships, your money, your business, your wealth, your health, your well-being. For many people, to be honest, it's the balance that they've got between the work they do and then the family and the personal life. So that's where I come in, and a lot of the work I do is to help people with that. So a lot of January was about trying to help you get the clarity on what it is that you want to improve, a level of clarity that helps you actually see it through, but also then have a deep, meaningful reason why that's important. Because again, without the reason for it to happen, without it meaning something deep and meaningful to you, then the chances are you're not going to do it. So really helped you with that. And then a range of actions to take that can help you reach that outcome. Not just one set action, but a range of things that you can pull on. And so the training we did, just a recap, I got the board here that we used. We looked at the wheel of life to see all the different aspects of life, not just work and family or work and personal life or work and health. There were 8 areas. There are more if you use the bigger wheel of life, but we used 8 areas of life to show, wow, our life is a rich tapestry of things. But we then used that to see, well, where are we playing in these areas? How do we feel about these areas? And all of a sudden, we didn't have a wheel. We did not have a circle. The example I gave was, when we looked at it and mapped it all out and joined up all the dots, it looked like Ireland, right? So there was massive imbalance in that example, which shows you if you're feeling on edge, if you're feeling like your life is a bit imbalanced, not just beyond kind of the obvious, but it just feels like, you suddenly realize, using something like the Wheel of Life, like we did in the training, that, right, okay, this is because I'm neglecting this and this, and I'm playing here, and this feels good, but, oh man, it's coming at a cost of this. So how can we kind of smooth that out? Not into a perfect circle, because that just isn't going to happen. But, maybe it's a lumpy circle, but it's going to be a little smoother. So we looked at that to get the imbalance, to see what the imbalance was in our life. And then we looked at what are 3 key things that you want to work on this year. But we used language that's going to inspire us. We describe the things in a language that we're going to see it through, that we want to spend time doing that thing. Because trust me, I want to get fit never inspired anybody anytime. And a lot of the things that I help with getting that balance. Well, I want more balance in my life. Again, that doesn't inspire you. So we used language. We used our descriptive words to make sure that it was something that can really inspire us to follow through. And then we got all a bit unconventional then, and we used the Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. We went through an exercise that took us into the past, the present, and the future, and we drew on insights and motivations and inspiration and things that we know from the past, the present, and what we want the future to look like, or what it's going to look like if we don't take action, to then make sure that we were crystal clear on what we want to improve, that it had a deep, meaningful reason, that we were letting go of the baggage that was holding us back, and then we were coming up with those actions that we can take on a regular basis to help us get there. You know, it was a great process, a simple process that we went through to really help with that clarity. So if you haven't looked at it, I mean, I've given you a little bit of a preview there, and you can use what I've just said. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's free, and you know, there's a lot of people out there that have been helping you do a similar thing, set you up for a great, a fantastic, and extraordinary 2022 during January. But I tell you what, a lot of that was one and done stuff, so you can't access it anymore unless you paid them. Then you don't have access to that training. But I didn't want to do it like that, so you've got access to the training right now and through the year. Because as I also said, this, you know, you can choose at any time on what you want to improve on. Yes, January is a wonderful time, and the new year is a wonderful time to kind of get that motivation, that inspiration, and get that clarity in your diary and the calendar, and look forward to, right, okay, what am I going to do? It is an incredible kind of renewed spirit. It's just a time for a fresh start. But the truth of the matter is, you can do this at any time. So that's why I want to make that available throughout the year, so that because 6 months down the line, you might have been working on some stuff, and then it's like, oh, I want to work on this as well, or instead of, where you go through the same process. So it's there available to you. So January was all about that. And what we also then did was highlighted that for some of us, we might get a little distracted, even with the clarity and the inspiration and the deep, meaningful why and the clarity on the actions. We can get a little distracted, a little, you know, unfocused. We can lose focus. We can lose momentum at times. And that means we then don't make the progress that we want to. And we can get, you know, a little frustrated that we're not where we want to be. But, you know, the busyness of life has happened, and the business of work and all that kind of stuff. And we get caught up. Somebody talked about accountability coaching. You know, that brand new offer. And the January intake closed yesterday. And that's, you know, that was a final deadline. But there's been a whole lot of people that have taken me up on that offer. And we've already done our first sessions. We've got massive clarity, over-delivered to make sure everyone was clear on what it was they wanted to improve on, why it was so important, and what they can do, all the different levers they can pull to get there. And then we've had our first accountability calls. And the most popular option is they want to tap into this monthly. So they just want a monthly catch up to keep them on track. And it's beautiful. But I can tell you now, most of them have got so much value from what we've done so far, and are loving the process and realizing this is the missing piece in the puzzle that they needed. They're booking extra sessions on top of what's already planned out for the year. And I tell you what, that whole thing of planning out the whole year, having all those in the diary, man, it lifts your confidence. All of a sudden you realize, I'm not alone. I am supported this year. That alone is priceless. But on top of that, now people are booking extra sessions because they can see the value in it. So look, this is something, you know, this is some hard sell. I'm just reminding you of that was the opportunity. And look, if that does feel like something that you want to tap into, but maybe you didn't get round to it, or maybe now you're reflecting and you're going, you know what, I didn't make the progress I wanted to in January. Maybe I do need somebody to keep me on track. Then, like I said, the January intake, it closed yesterday, but drop me a note, drop me a DM behind the scenes if you want to, or in the comments right now. And, you know, just let me know that it's something you're interested in. And then when the next intake happens, I can let you know. In fact, I'll let you know before, right? Because I'm nice like that, because you're in the community. So let me know, and I'll let you know when the next intake is, and we can have a conversation about it. So that was what January was all about. And to some extent, the message doesn't change much in February, because as I also alluded to over various posts and in the training, for many people, those improvements they wanted to make, the things they wanted to work on, and it could be, like I said, your health, your fitness, your finances, your business, the balance in life, all that kind of stuff. What they realize is they make little to no progress come February. And a lot of it, those New Year's resolutions in particular, they just fade by the wayside. They go by the wayside, and all of a sudden we're just caught up in the busyness of life, and we won't even give it a second thought, and we'll just go, you know, that's the way it is. So we don't want that. So I want to keep the momentum up. And I've got another great training for you. I'm lining that up. It'll happen before half term, which is at the end of the month. It'll be another full training, full interaction, exercises, the works. And it's really it's going to be a great one because it's similar, but it's very different. So it's a similar concept. We're going to focus on that clarity. We're going to focus on why things are so important and the actions you can take. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, demonstrate to you that you already have done this, that you have already had moments in your life where you have done this and you have followed through and you have got results and you've got the outcomes that you want. And if you're a business owner, it might be when you first started your business, or if you've overcome a challenge, it might be that. So we're going to explore how we can make 2022 extraordinary, but based on the fact that you've already done these things in the past. And you're also going to, I'm going to learn a little bit more about you. You're going to learn a little bit more about me as well. So I'm going to be sharing some of my story about these moments that have really shaped what I do now to show you that this is how we do it. It's not a complicated process. So we're going to bring it to life in a different way. And I can't wait to share that with you. I will invite all of you and you'll get the notification for that. I'll give you plenty of notice and we'll get that in the diary by the end of February. So really looking forward to that. That's what the focus will be this month. So look, this kind of brings us up to now in February, 1st of February. Now, it's not because I'm nosy, but as we've been talking about all of this stuff, about what we want to improve on, what we want to work on, what is it that you're working on? I'd love to know, right? I'd love to know. And I'd love for you to be clear enough to know what it is that you want to improve on. And again, this could be anything in life. It can be, I'd say it again, your finances, or it might be something to do with your health, your sleep, what you're eating or you're drinking, or your exercise. It could be about your finances. It could be elements in your business about how you want to grow that business, or cement what you've already got. Or it could be in your relationships, or it could be that balance. Like I said, what I actually find is that people do want to work on all that stuff. They want to live healthier. They want to work on their fitness. They want to spend time figuring out their finances and using their finances differently. They want to build better relationships. But what they're doing is they're working too long and too hard. They're spending most of their time in that wheel of life. They're spending most of their time in their work box and they're neglecting all these other things. And right now they go, I do want to do that, Martin, but I don't know how. I haven't got the time. We're going to come on to this in just a sec. I haven't got the time. So what they need to do first off, and this is something I help people with. This is what I do, whether you're a stressed dad or not a stressed dad. This is where I help you go, right. So this work stuff is taking over your life, or it's causing you stress, or you're spending a bit more time there than you would want to. So how can we do it? How can we use strategies and frameworks and a mindset to do an even better job at work? Imagine that. In less hours, imagine that. And then you have a choice as to what you spend that time that you've now regained. You can spend it to do more work if you really wanted to, but chances are you don't, because that's why we're talking. You want to then go and spend that time with your family, quality time, when you're not stressed out, when you're feeling good about what you've done at work, so you're not having to think about it. You don't have to squeeze extra work in. Or maybe you want to spend some you time doing stuff for you that lights you up. So what I actually find is, people do want to work on various things, but they haven't got the time because they haven't figured that bit out yet. And so if that is something you want to work on, then please shout. Again, it might be something else, but I just want to give you that illustration, because actually what gets in the way of some of this other stuff is often because they're prioritizing other things. And sometimes that's work, and sometimes that's subconscious. So what is it that you want to work on? I'd love to know, but also, like I said, it's more about the clarity that you're going to have by saying, this is what I want to work on, Martin. Great, okay? And word it in a great way. Like I said, use exciting, descriptive words so that you want to actually spend time doing that. So it motivates and inspires you. So the first thing is, what would you like to work on? Now, some of you, maybe you're not clear. In which case, go for it. Say, you know what, Martin, I do want things to improve, but I'm not sure. I haven't quite put my finger on it. Great, because maybe you need some support. Maybe you just need to talk it through with me, with somebody else, to go, I do want to improve. But the more you talk about it, or even if you want to journal about it and write about it and mind map it, use whatever tool you need, support that you need, but just spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes just going through it so that you've given it some thought. But so first thing I just want to say, what are you wanting to work on? And the second thing is, how much progress have you made? This isn't about, like, we're only on the 1st of Feb, so this isn't about I've just obliterated my whole year's goals in 1 month. It's not about that. I just want you to sit back now and go, right, or step back and say, well, what progress have I made? Have you made? If you've made progress, any kind of progress, celebrate that. Tell us below. Say, I wanted to work on this, and I'm so pleased because this, and this has happened. I feel like I've got momentum. I feel like I've started the year well. Celebrate that. We talked all last year about the importance of celebrating your success, no matter how small that success is, no matter how big that success is. Always take the time, and you've got a moment here to share it. So please, if you've made progress, great. But what I also know is that some people have made little to no progress. Okay, and this is a message for you, because if you've made little to no progress, I bet it's kind of eating away at you. I bet you can't. And you can say, well, we got the rest of the year and it's okay. But the fact you made little to no progress, unless something really came like sideways and knocked your entire world out of kilter in January, because that happens, and that takes a little longer to get back on the wagon. That's okay. But the chances are that's probably not happened. It's just been the busyness of life, getting back into all those habits and routines and the busyness of work and the drama out there and everything. That busyness has kind of got in the way of the thing that you wanted to work on. So what I'd like you to do, be clear on what it is that you want to work on first and foremost. And if you need help, just shout. But the second thing is, if you've made little to no progress, no matter how clear you are, but you know that there was something you wanted to work on, if you've made little to no progress, what I'd like you to do as a quick exercise, and I want you to write this down. What is the story that you're telling yourself that's holding you back? In other words, what is the reason you've not made the progress that you want to? So the thing you wanted to improve on, no matter what it was in life, you said you had an intention, a purpose to do this, and you made little to no progress. What's the story you're telling yourself that's holding you back? Now look, and this can be so many things. This can be, and the top one, I don't have the time. I've just not found the time. I don't have the time. I can't commit the time. I can't find the time. I haven't got the money. I haven't got the support. I haven't got the skills. I haven't got the experience. I haven't got the education. I haven't got the background. I'm not in the right location. I'm not fit enough. I'm not healthy enough. I don't have enough money. What is the story you're telling yourself? What's the reason you're giving for not making that progress? Because that progress is so important. You make that progress, you know it's going to make a massive difference to your business, to your life, to your relationships, to your health, to your finances, whatever it is that you're looking at working on. You know it would make a difference. So what's the reason? What's the story you're telling yourself as to why you can't do it? And it's usually, I can't do it because, or I don't have. Just think about it and write that down right now. Write it, and if you want to share it in the comments. Really declare it. Go, you know what? The thing that's holding me back is I say to myself, I can't do this, or I'm no good. Because the other thing is, I'm not good enough. What's the story? And we did cover this in the training. It was one part of the training when we look into the past and say, what insights can we get? So what's the story we keep telling ourselves as to why we can't do things? And very often, if you don't tackle the story, it doesn't matter how clear you are and how motivated and inspired you are to make something happen. That story will always, always, always hold you back. So we've got to address that story. So if right now, 1st of Feb, again, we're not going to panic and make a big catastrophe out of things, because we can work on these things at any time. But if right now you're going, you know what, I didn't make the progress I wanted to, what's the story you're telling yourself? Write it down, commit it in the comments. But the other thing I'd like you to do, once you've done that, And really quick, I mean, there's a whole process I go through. This is what I help my one-to-one clients with. It's a whole module in my online program. So, but really quickly, identify the story first off, and then reword it. You know, I said about when we said what it is that we want to work on. Use descriptive words, use exciting words that are going to help you, inspire you to make that thing happen. Well, do the same here. Reword that. You go, you know what? You look at it, you write it down, you go, you know what? That's ridiculous. So if it is the time, you know, so you've gone from, I haven't got the time, I can't find the time. Reword that. And it's not BS. Reword it and go, for example, and say it with energy. You know, I have an abundant amount of time of which I'm in control of, and I will do what I want when I want it, and I will decide what I focus on. You know, I have an abundant amount of time that I am in control of, and I will decide what I focus on in any one moment in time. The energy that comes with that, the confidence, the control that comes with just saying that, nothing's changed practically. This has changed. I can't find the time. Well, you know what? You've got as much time as anybody else in the day. And yeah, there are some things that have to happen at certain times. If you need to pick up the kids at 3 o'clock, you need to pick up the kids at 3 o'clock. It wouldn't be very good to go, I'm in control of my time, I'm going to play Mario Kart now, you know, and neglect your kids. That's not going to happen, right? That's not what we're talking about. What we are talking about is, right, there are pockets of time when you're spending it doing certain things and they're not serving you, or they're not serving you as much as the thing that you want to work on, that you want to improve. So all of a sudden, just reword the things. I guess a bit like that balance I talked about. Yeah, it's something I'm so passionate about. You know, just saying, you know, I want better balance in my life. Well, it's descriptive. I mean, it says, but it's not very inspiring. You know, but you might say, well, I can't do those other things because I work too hard. I work, you know, long hours. And some of those other stories that we tell ourselves, oh, you know, I can't. To work in this company at this level, it needs me to work this amount of time. And stress is just synonymous with that. It's just the norm. It just has to happen. We convince ourselves that we need to be in stressful situations, and that's the only way it can be because of X, Y, and Z. Again, it's a story that we tell ourselves. But the fact is, you can turn that around and say, I can have an incredible, an extraordinary impact at work in less hours and be a role model for all those around me and show them that you can do that and have an extraordinary quality of life with your family. So that's a place I want to spend time in. So when you're looking at the stories that are holding you back, whatever you're telling yourself, and you know, for my fellow business owners out there, right, it all falls on our shoulders. We are every department in our company. We are the sales department, the marketing department, the technology department, the facilities department, the systems department, the HR department. We're every department under the sun. You know, and you know, an established company has got a lot of people and a lot of departments to do that, but it all comes on our shoulders. But then we all go, this is my responsibility. I've got to do this. We then feel completely overwhelmed. But the story you're telling yourself is, well, yeah, but I wanted to get into this. This is all on me. This is my idea. This is my company. I have to do it all. Well, it's not true. The outcome that you're looking for in your company is the thing that's true. That's the thing that you need to focus on. This is what we talked about in the training. The outcome that you want, how you go about doing that. Well, there are a great many ways that you can flex and leverage in order to do it. But you need to be clear, you need to be purposeful, and then you can figure this stuff out. So again, the stories that are holding us back might already be holding you back right now. And I'd rather we have this conversation now. We catch this in this moment. Because, you know, we can address this at any time, but if 6 months goes by, you've made little to no progress, you're feeling a bit, you know, crappy about it, you've lost 6 months. Well, let's just nip this in the bud now. Let's go, right, you know what, I didn't make the progress. Cool. You know, it happens. And especially after the Christmas and getting back into routines, you know what, that's fine. But you know what, I need to focus on this now. I need to concentrate and I need to figure out a way of which doing this. So if I can identify the story that's holding me back, if I can reword that in a different way, if I can tap into the support and the trainings that help me get clear and purposeful with this stuff, then you know what, I've got an even better chance of actually making this happen. this is one of the key messages I want to get across to you today. Yes, all the recap and all that kind of stuff, and tell you what's coming. But the focus right now for you, especially in between now and the next training, yes, you're going to get clear. Yes, I'm going to show you, give you that confidence that you can do this, because you've already gone through this process and achieved incredible things. Even if you don't think so right now, we're going to bring it to life. We get a bit emotional about it as well. It's going to be great. But in between now and then, get clear on what it is that you want to work on, but get clear on the stories that you're telling yourself that's holding you back. And honestly, trust me, if you get a handle on those, you will move forward in a way that you weren't before. And it won't just impact this one thing. If you're telling yourself for example, you haven't got time to do something, the chances are it's not just on that one thing. I bet there are a whole load of other things that you're saying you don't have time for. This story now, it opens up all those doors. That's what's so exciting. That's what I see. That's the potential I see. Do I get passionate about this? I'm coming to help you, support you, serve you in the best way possible to help you have an extraordinary 2022 and beyond. So it's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege as always. So look, as a recap, if you haven't seen the training from last month, go check it out. What have you got to lose? Really? And if you want to split it up into 3 chunks, because there are 3 parts, then you can do that. You don't have to do it all in one session. It's about an hour and a quarter all in all. So if you haven't done the training, go check it out. If you're interested in that accountability, even though the January intake's closed, if you're interested in that, drop me a message, drop me a comment. Let's see, I'll let you know when the next intake is going to be. And let's just restate, what is it that you want to work on this year? And if there's a story that's holding you back because you've made little to no progress on it so far, you're not going to panic, like I said. But what is that story? And how could you reword it so that it empowers you to go, you know what, I'm taking control of this. # enough is enough. This is my life. I'm taking control. Life on my terms, not letting the outside world dictate my happiness and quality of life, remember. That's the definition of an extraordinary life. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to make February the month that I start making that regular progress. And also just remember, as a caveat on this isn't about making leaps and bounds of progress every day. In fact, those things happen few and far between. The real progress is made by inching forward every day, making progress on a regular basis. Fits and starts, it doesn't really give you that quality of improvement that you want. But if you're making regular progress, inching forward, what that actually does, by doing that, you attract or you create the bigger opportunities that are able to leapfrog you forward. So let's get you moving forward on a frequent basis, get that improvement going, get that clarity, and let's make sure that the stories holding you back are no more. We put those to bed, and actually they open up so many other doors for you. I hope this has been helpful. I hope this has been useful. Like I said, privilege and a pleasure as always to be here and support you. Please interact, please comment like we've said, and because this is going to help you embed those things that you want to improve on. And if you've got any questions or queries about this, then please do ask and I'll get back to you. So until next time, have a great week. Happy February. And I can't wait to do that training later on in the month for you. Like I said, as I always say, stay safe, stay healthy, and remember just how extraordinary you are.